I annotate my books, but not in a pretty Pinterest sort of way, more like controlled chaos with a pen. If that sounds terrifying or freeing to you, then stick around because I'm going to take you through my annotation journey so far, what I found intimidating, why I started anyway, how it's going, and how my process has been changing even just in the first few weeks and first few books. So, welcome to Chapters with Sam. I'm Sam. Let's talk annotation. So, annotation is something I've been meaning to do for a while, or at least trying to get more out of my first read through of a book. I tend to blow through books, and I'm really trying to get deeper into them now. And part of the reason I made this book YouTube channel is to hold me accountable. I really wanted to dig deeper into books and think more thoroughly about what was going on in them rather than just being along for the ride. So I took the plunge and I started. Let's start at the beginning. Annotation was a bit intimidating to me because if you look it up online, you see all of these beautiful picture perfect, color coordinated highlights and tabs, beautiful handwriting that fit perfectly in these small areas. And the perfectionist in me was like, wow, I can't do that, or I can't do it well. The other thing that was intimidating to me was not knowing what to record. What should I underline and what should I write in the margins? And that was intimidating to me because I like to do things right. That's part of the perfectionism thing. So even though a lot of these videos that I watched were a bit intimidating, there was a prevailing theme, and that is this is for you. You're not writing for a scholarly journal. You are keeping track of your thoughts on this book and the quotes that you like. And so that helped me get started. And I've only been doing it for a few weeks and a few books, and I'm still figuring out my process, but I figured that's probably a great thing to show people is the beginning of somebody's annotation process rather than the picture perfect ending. So the first book that I started annotation on was The House on the Cerulean Sea. I didn't have tabs yet. So I started trying to tab it afterwards, and I just got a couple tabs in there and stopped. This book, I was a little worried. It was my first annotation, and so I did it in pencil. And there are post-it notes keeping track of things at like the end of each chapter that I wanted to keep track of. And so it was interesting. It was like having a conversation with the book, which I thought was really amazing. It really turned me on to annotation. And even though it was a cozy fantasy, so it was low stakes, I was really happy that I was picking up on things and thinking about things that I might not necessarily have thought about as much if I was just reading it straight through and not thinking and annotating. So let's start with the tools that I'm using. When I went on to Amazon after deciding to annotate, I decided to pick up some tabs, some pens with fine tips so that I could have a chance of legibility in the margins, and some highlighters. I have been using the tabs and I have been using the pens, but I haven't been using the highlighters. Okay, so here's what I do now. I read with a pen in my hand. It slows me down a little bit, I think, and helps me, I'm always deciding, do I want to underline this or not? And it helps slow down my reading so that I don't skim, because I think I used to have a tendency to skim more than I realized. Anyway, what I do is I read with a pen in hand and I underline whatever stands out to me and sometimes write little notes about my reaction to it. And then I go back with color-coded tabs and I tab the most important ones, things that I want to be able to return to. It's not necessarily everything that I underlined. Sometimes it's just a few things in the chapter. While I'm doing that, I have ChatGPT transcribing my thoughts that I'm saying out loud as I go back through and put these tabs in. So I'll do a quick summary of what's happening in the book. I will speak of my favorite quotes, and I will talk about my reactions and what I wrote in the margins, or maybe didn't even write in the margins, just what I think about it, and maybe predict something that's going to happen in the future. And ChatGPT does this magic thing where it takes my brain dump babble and turns it into these beautifully concise notes that I keep as a reading journal. I always wanted to keep a reading journal, but the effort to make it all pretty and concise and perfect was a bit too much for me. And now AI will just do it for me. Hello. The bird wanted to join in, but now AI will do it for me, and it's amazing. So far for my nonfiction books, my color key has been pretty set. It's yellow for big core ideas, blue for actionable things, so I can go back and be like, oh, I can do this. Red and green for if something really resonates with me or doesn't resonate with me at all and I'm skeptical about it. Purple for favorite quotes. That's actually for both fiction and nonfiction. For fiction, I haven't really decided yet. So far, I've asked ChatGPT to come up with a color code for me. I've waited until I was halfway through one of my books before deciding, okay, these are the tab colors, and then I went back and added tabs to what matched with those categories. I'm still figuring out my way with tabs in fiction, but it's an evolution, it's a process, and that's okay. That is the theme of this episode. It's okay to be messy. It's okay for it not to be perfect. It's also okay to not annotate everything. After annotating my first few books, I picked up The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst, and I was kind of done with annotating for a while. And this was a cozy fantasy. I didn't really need to dig into it. And although I did do a reading journal, I would periodically stop and talk to the AI about what I was reading. It wasn't anywhere near as structured or formal as the annotation process that I just described. All right, so here's what I've learned so far, summarized. 1, it's okay to be messy. This is only for you. Nobody else has to see it. It's fine. What matters is that you're getting more out of your books. 2, annotation can be really fun. It feels like instead of a book telling me a story, it's more like I'm having a conversation with the book. So I'm really enjoying it, and I'm glad I started. So if you made it to this part of the video, thank you so much for sticking with me. It's been a pleasure having you. I'd love to know if you annotate and your process for annotation, and any suggestions you might have to make mine better, or anything that surprised you that in my annotation process that you might try, like the AI babble to concise notes thing. If you'd like to see the results of some of my annotation, then you can check out my June wrap up and July to be read video. I'll leave it in the end card here. Thanks again, and I hope you have a great day.